Great, Senator Science Broadcast. Lots of options mentioned, brought to you by Insanity Grace. Okay, so instead of doing Dolores Cannon every day, no thanks. We do Jimmy. I figured I'd just see some other spiritual gurus that are out there. One is Jimi Hendrix, which is not your normal guru, but pretty much that's what he is. And then we go to Ancient Secret Space Program and Saturn Earth channeling. So, Secret Space Program, I believe, has been around forever. So get kind of an insight onto that. I don't think it's mentioned very often or ever. But if you have aliens here forever, you have Secret Space Program here. So, yeah. It just, you don't have many probably don't have many. I don't pay attention, but imagine you don't have many whistleblowers on something like that. But you say they're kind of like blocked timelines or downloads, so we'll see what we can get from that. And Saturn Earth channeling, so dive more into Saturn, a relation with Saturn, or just whatever we can get from that. So. Jimi Hendrix is something different, just having just to lighten the mood a little bit, and I'll see if there's any other gurus I can tap into for tomorrow. Obviously, there's plenty, but I was going to do Buddha, but yeah, it's been kind of done to death. But I might do Buddha also. Just different. It's been a while. It's been a while for Buddha, it's been a while for a lot of them, so. All right. See here. Well, I have an update, but I don't remember what my update is. Okay. Of course, you have that. A new site up, but we have avatar.com. We have private sessions. There's a shop here. I'm on, I don't remember. I think I'm on the 27th, or I'm on the 27th. Same situation here. We have a webinar, social network, Rabbit, behind the scenes, and he has a new dating site up and has a retro design, which looks really good. I'm really surprised it came out looking like that. It really works. And these 3 images on the bottom, I'll probably change those, but overall the back end is pretty. You just gotta figure it out. It's a little bit of tinkering here and there to find people, but it does work. I'm doing advertising for it, so it's basically just a slow growth, but it is set up like a regular site like that. So has all the basic functionality. It even has a web phone app that I have to figure out. I'm still working on the phone. When you do it on the phone, I can rearrange that a little bit. I haven't got to that yet. So something different, yeah, in my spare time. I'm not going to dive too deeply into that. All that matters is the basics at this point in advertising it. So phone app will be no time soon. Okay, Secret Space. Trying to think of anything. There's something else, but I can't remember, but not that important, I guess. So go dump into Jimi Hendrix, see what we get from him, and roll on. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. This is Jimi Hendrix. Yes, the sounds that are unison with the soul, basically an uplifting energy field. It's like dancing in spirit. But basically, music connects you back to the spirit realms. You know more about yourself. It helps you through traumas. It's basically music is for trauma mostly. Oh, and of course, it connects you to the spirit realm. Just so it's your doorway or window to the spirit realms. As yes, many souls here, as you know, are weakened by the Earth's energy because it's changing. People don't want to change, but you might want to change. So and change is painful. Like relationships, people fall apart with that because they don't like the change. And many of you are actually shifting your bodies. You're not always aware of that, meaning you're shifting realities and dimensions constantly, and that can get kind of overwhelming too. And you can shift a dimension here where it can cause you more trouble than a moment later. It's a little bit complicated. Obviously, it's not here for you to see that here, but you do travel realities constantly. You can say yes, your world travels the universe. You can say that your planet actually goes into your sun. Of course, you're not seeing that physically, but it actually collides right into it. Well, maybe not on a yeah, it's not on a physical level, but it truly goes into it, and it generates new vibrations more than you might realize. Well, it's a way of bringing new souls here. So it does like it aligns with the sun. Basically, it's like a sun alignment. Look at it that way. It doesn't do it all the time, but when it does it, new souls are on their way. It like gives like a spark to the universe. Like we need a new batch. Send them on here. I know it sounds a little bit strange there, but yeah, your planet asks for new souls to incarnate here quite often, but not constantly. It's like we need a certain type of soul for the planet because the planet's kind of dying at this moment. We need certain souls to levitate the vibrations. Like so, souls are seen as like trees, you can say. So you incarnate, especially in difficult lifetimes, to raise the vibrations in those terrible situations. And there's a lot of that going on, as you know. So people wonder why they incarnate into families that are very difficult, is to raise the vibrations of them. There's probably more to it than that, but of course you're opening yourself. I mean, yeah, you signed up for, you want to get your wings, your angelic wings or your guitar strings, whatever comes, whatever you're looking for, it will, there is always a gift at the end of all of this. You always receive something. You don't give nothing. Yeah, there's nothing. You gotta get something out of it. Just incarnate here just to get the hell beat out of you, and then that's it. Of course, there are souls that do that. Well, they get the hell beat out of them for a long time, and then they get a buffet of good things, and then they usually screw it up. But so yeah, my energy. I come from different places. Arcturian. I have Saturn connections. My energy here, yes, is just basically just a tone of vibration for those that connect to spirit in a certain way. Those tones of vibrations will not be brought. And I mean, the people are asking for me to incarnate here. I wasn't trying to reach out so I can incarnate in your, a world like this. But when I was here, I felt very much like I was part of song. I was just nothing normal. Yeah, I was the notes. I am all things. I am, yes, the sky. I am song. I am music. Music playing an instrument. So my sound is, the instrument is conveying my vibration. It goes out through the universe. The universe is always listening. Elvis does exist, of course, though. Elvis is on many moons at this time. He duplicates himself a lot. He wants to be everywhere. Doesn't mean he wants to be loved by everyone, but he is he's an actor also in the spirit realms. Music can only go so far. I feel like it was very controlled here. So it feels very, Elvis is, yeah, he just like his acting. He just likes that better, especially when he's in, when he's, what is it you call it? It's not jet skiing, but skiing behind a boat. They like that. Of course, on your world, it was humorous. I don't think it was real, but it was funny though. Yes, something about skiing and singing at the same time seems to be his thing. Some of you might not know who Elvis is. But my vibration is to tune with Earth's energy frequency that was necessary for soul growth, of course, just healing stress, allowing the babies to come in or get people to want to have babies, at least for that moment. Of course, I helped a lot of souls incarnate here. Not that I was the father, but my music was the father, you can say. And so I get played, my sound is there as the babies are born or after, and duration, the parents play my music basically to keep their sanity. So, vibration, I'm with many here. Eventually, they'll realize my existence here in that way. I help raise a lot of souls here too. I might not know them personally, but I know them vibrationally. When you're third dimensional, humans realize I'm here or how that works. They just like playing songs. They just like, oh, yeah, this might be a little bit much for them at this time. For now, at least. I do come from the stars, of course, just like many of you. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are from Spirit of, yes, here to speak about your secret space program. Of course, there are alien beings that can speak about it also. But basically, your secret space program is your imprint into the astral realms. So, yes, there's always been alien technologies here just hidden. Now, to remember these things can be quite hard because your reality is telling you it did not exist, but it does exist. Well, it exists now. I mean, if there's no time, it's there currently. But if you have to go into your ancient times, if you want to use the clock and time, yes, it quite exists then too. Where do you think many of your aliens did? Where many of your Atlanteans went? You had Palladians and Syrians beings here too. When the Earth became more of a third dimensional vibration, your aliens basically were in space, correct? Mostly. And then you have your space program. Of course, it's been around for much longer than that. Of course, there are a lot of beings around Saturn. Saturn's being protected because Saturn is here to help you learn more about yourself, kind of like a grandfather of the Earth, you can say. The Earth has many grandparents, and yes, many lovers also. But as the secret space program, ancient self will reveal itself if it's truly ready for people to realize that side. I believe, yes, we believe that it's a deep energy that is buried within the soul of the earth, but also many of you, and allowing that side of yourself, yes, to see dinosaurs and spaceships living among each other, and your Roman times and alien vibrations out in the skies, unseen. Especially healing a lot of the viruses that are going on at that time. It was easier to kill people back then. It's easy to kill them now, but it was easier back then. Just was. But you didn't have your news programs and all that. They had a black plague, and that was the end of it. But now you have a media that can start it, but also prevent it. Well, just you're on a global scale now. It's just a different environment altogether. But yes, there's plenty of secret space energies in your past. It's just what you are willing to unlock within yourselves is the question. How far, how deep are you willing to go? How much can you mentally handle it for some of you? Some of us say it's blocked or it doesn't exist. but all things exist. It's just, are you going to allow it to open itself? It will cause a lot of healing within, but some still have difficulties. There's just a lot within the soul here that many of you are trying to figure out. So there's another entity here. Greetings, we're all the Arturians. This is a ancient side of your planet that still has to be healed. Even your current state of mind, your current reality is still figuring itself out. And this is, yes, your ancient secret space program will help you heal your modern world because now you're willing to unlock the third dimension completely. This is one element of doing it. As many souls are wondering why they're here. Well, that has to do with space wars that are not conceived in a lot of it is their ancient times. Yes, they're in the caveman times. Mostly they're in the caveman times, actually. It's just allowing that side to unlock. And yes, there's many nuclear explosions in your past during Atlantean times that many of you were involved with also. Always felt the explosions within yourself, atomic bombs through crystal energies. And that still has to be healed because there's still much of that happening here. A lot of your cities in Rome, Italy, many other places, Europe, were brought here to heal after the wars of Atlantis. So there's just a lot of deep wounds that are here to unravel. What is it that you want to let go of? So allowing these downloads to awaken within yourselves. Of course, your average human still has a lot to go. There's just, but they feel like they don't have the capability of doing so. They feel like they can't tap in. So they're getting guidance from others. They're not. Yes, this can get a little bit strange for others, but that's what you're here to do. You're here to remove your current reality, aren't you? Aren't you here to remove the confines of programming to allow your soul to speak, to be free? Well, this is one element of doing so, of defining even spiritual belief systems to allow more of your past to reveal itself. Some are here actually to close it. Some of you are here to open it, to open the past within yourself. Yes, it might be a lot of wounds there, and some are here to deceive, of course, to keep it closed or to control the information. The idea is to tap into your own vibrations, your own information. Because the deceivers here have gotten, yes, a lot of attention for themselves. But as more of you open yourselves up, you'll see more of that and be able to heal it. Yes, you have cults here that are actually ancient cults that are here in the modern day that have controlled others in the past. That's how they've gotten away with it. People need that because they can't, yes, figure out themselves yet. I'm not. They can't rely on themselves yet. It's just too much for them. So there's a lot of deep revelations they still have to figure out. Yeah, the soul is complicated, and we may really understand the soul here. Not really. There's many parts to it that have not been fully revealed. Talking about spirit guides and spirit realms, but what about the soul itself? Has not been. Pieces of it haven't fully unlocked because you can. It's just removing all the belief systems here, basically. Even spiritual belief systems that tell you to believe in any god they're being told, whatever you want to believe in, basically. Allow more of that vibration to come in. And then you'll see things more clearly. Yes, it's not going to happen instantly, no. Well, okay, there's still many agendas here. Not everything's been healed yet, of course. Greetings, this is Saturn. Connecting to your Earth, of course. Move your Earth into the right direction if you don't feel like it is the right direction. Well, yes, your Mother Earth put her foot into a puddle and has to deal with it. Yes, we are there to stretch her imagination to open up more to her own talents. Yes, there are plants that are kind of tough on her, but she's also tough back. As yes, she's the youngster, but also there's many blockages within her own vibrations of her not remembering herself. Because other planets shut her down. They feel like they know about more than she does. Uh, I believe many of you have been through that. so, so let's put it this way: you can say she tapped into an energy that was unique to others. Not necessarily it was darkness, but just a new energy. And other planets shut her down, stopped her. So obviously, when someone stops you from your own growth, you're going to bring in darkness. You're going to bring another side of yourself, and that's what's happening now. And there's a higher potential of her own existence that has not been tapped in. Many of you know there's much more to this earth than what you're seeing currently. So yeah, you're seeing kind of like the Mother Earth's rage. Of course, you can say that and see that you can get your own perspective of it. But there's just yeah, as you tap more into other planets and see that some are very friendly and others are not. That doesn't mean that they're dark planets, but they feel like they know better. They're just like people. I mean, yes, they're higher dimensional beings, but that really comes down to they're just like your world in a lot of ways. Yes, they're not humanoid, but they're not human, but they still have human-like traits about them in some form or another. Well, some plants can be higher vibration and very arrogant, and very complacent, but they have a lot of power. It's like that's not allowed here, and shut things down. It might be a little bit confusing with that, but some of you do that so she's just a reflection of other planets and what they're going through, their own. So she brought darkness from other worlds here. They can't deal with their darkness, but yeah, she's gotten darker over time. But so has many of you. You're dealing with her, but that's also because the planets here are not just in your solar system. There are other places. It just, yeah, you can look at it. Well, from Saturn's perspective, she's a rebel. A rebel with a cause or without one, but mostly with one. Well, she's here to bring out the better of others, herself, and do it in a wicked way, you can say. Well, there are other ways, but this is more of a wicked way through hardship. Why? There's a long history that she doesn't even want us to go into, apparently. But you can say it's not all her fault, which is why the world is the way it is. There's just, as you open up more to galactically, you'll see there are other planets that are not exactly the easiest to get along with. So this planet, yes, has its own darkness, of course, but there is light there, of course. But the darkness you most likely see from other places. As a Saturn energy, we're just here to not exactly be the easiest vibration to deal with either, because we can put energies backwards. We can descend planets easily too. I mean, a Saturn planet can create villains, yes. But you're high vibrational. I mean, if you're going to be an aggressor, be smarter than everyone else. So obviously some might not like that, but if you're going to control planets or you're going to be someone of infinite knowledge, you better be really good at it. Because we want to see who can conquest who can conquer what. Now, you can look at it in a negative way or a positive way. But if you're going to do something, you do it right, basically. So if you want to accomplish something and survive it, so if you're going to be a conqueror of worlds, it doesn't mean you have to have casualties, but do it well. Do it well where you say, wow, this is not from an ego point of view. You might see it that way. But it's like, how far can you get with the structure and idea system that you created? It's another version of school, you can say. I mean, you're schooling beings out in the universe. You're just on a planet. Think about when you go outside the universe, see how these beings control your world. So the more neutral you are, it's easier to see these things. When you're judging everyone all day, you get nowhere. I mean, you get somewhere, I guess, but not really. But if you're willing to know how this world truly operates, the more neutral you are, the better. Because it just helps you. It's like, how do you seed a planet? How do you plant? Like when you plant something, you have to dig up the dirt, right? Well, same thing with growth on any world. You have to dig things up. You have to change things. You have to shift the vibrations. You got to move a planet. You got to do whatever it might be. Take out a sun, help it grow within a sun, whatever it might be. It's just that Saturn is a planet of growth. So you can say it as a villain planet. It's a planet of many things. You can say it's more of a neutral Earth, but planet Earth, yeah, I guess you could say we're Earth to ourselves. We're just not the easiest. We're just not an easy planet overall, but we still exist. We found a way to continue our existence by just being, say, better, but not making it easy on anyone either. It's just we're just there to better the soul, and your world does that, but just does it in a clunky way, a way where souls are. It's more sophisticated here, you can say. Maybe not in the best way, but meaning that the soul does advance itself greatly, very quickly than it does on a Saturn planet. Saturn, you do advance yourself, but nothing like here. Because you're battling so much at once. Saturn, you're not battling this many things. You have taxes, you have school, you have this, you have that. Saturn doesn't have that. It's more of a simplistic reality. When you come to your planet, it's like, you have to shave, you have to put your hair in a certain direction. You have to do all these things just to function on this planet. Or even if you're at home not talking to anybody, you still have to do things. You still have to clean the house. Saturn will not, you don't have to do so many things. So that was from Earth perspective, to better the soul, prepare you for the universe. From the Earth's perspective, meaning that you're preparing yourselves. Obviously, it's not ready. I mean, some people are ready to connect to the universe, but obviously, our conversation is only limited here to a certain amount of people, of course. But tapping into the universe itself, maybe it's like I'm still trying to tap into myself. But some of you are ready to go outside the planet and knowing how other worlds operate. And so you don't have to be under a control regime, a dictator regime that you're in currently. That's what you're here to figure out. So you're building up all this life stuff, combing your hair and getting the job and doing all these mundane things, relationships when you don't really need one, whatever it might be. You're actually preparing yourself for a complicated universe. So all these little tidbits are connected to other planets. It just, you have them all stuffed in one world. So it's like, where do you get brushing your teeth? You get that from, this planet. It's where you get combing your hair, from that planet. Because a lot of these beings don't deal with that stuff. It's more to it than that, but it's little details that's difficult to tap fully into a third dimensional mind, but it's just a lot of those mundane things, but it goes much deeper than just that. But it's basically you're preparing to understand other worlds and their ways, basically. It's basically snapping out of the third dimension, going outside the world. That's pretty much where many of you are going. Well, you've had enough of all this, haven't you? Some of you have. I mean, you played these games many, many lifetimes, and it's kind of the same mundane existence, correct? Doesn't mean you have fully healed yourself, no. You still have a lot to learn, of course, but you can learn it in a different way, galactically. You can still learn these lessons, but there's always easier ways or whatever ways you need to learn it. I mean, instead of learning through a human experience, you have it through an alien experience instead. Self-love, self-trust. You talk to a two-headed being or a three-eyed being, whatever it might be. Some just learn better that way. So that's why so many souls are incarnating here so many times, because it's like some of them enjoy it, but many are just lost here. But if you see a three-eyed alien being, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I remember you. And why am I making these mistakes again? It's like you have a memory activated. So, and that gets kind of complicated. Yeah, just things here that are not here to trigger the mind. Obviously, you're not allowing three-eyed beings here, two-headed beings. Well, there are some of them do exist here. But obviously, yeah, creature beings, what you would call monsters. Some people call those family. Yeah, creature beings. Some of them call Aunt Mary. Things like that. You don't register creatures. You don't talk about them. You see them in fiction, but you're not recognizing them as actual beings. Yeah, DNA gets really strange when you go out into the universe. I mean, human DNA, yes, can be connected to a monster itself. I mean, obviously, we're talking to people that aren't ready for these things, but you never know. Got ways for that. But a lot of these creature beings that you call fictional are actually real. Some of them do have human DNA. You can take that human DNA and create your own human. So, not that you have use for that here now, but you'd be surprised how much your DNA is actually on other planets at this time. Or your DNA is on is another planet. It's very complicated and a pain to figure out, things like that. But also very strong, too. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but there's a lot to learn here.